So just another miserable Sunday, having my morning coffee and watching a bit of Look Out for Charlie. He's got a 2 hour long special that I just came across. Just wanted to share this little section of video. So this is like way back from 1995. They're talking about this, like frequency weapons, and even in the mainstream media they were talking about it.
In 1986, and the particular sections that we were concerned about indicate very strongly that these were where the government was in the 80s, in the middle 80s and early 80s, developing these kind of weapon systems. And when you think about the discussions in the press in recent years about microwave weapons and non-lethal weapons, they kind of skirt the microwave and they skirt the radio frequencies, although they're mentioned occasionally. In fact, we reference symbols in the text, the New York Times articles that talk about those weapons on a very quick and cursory basis.
Let me try and understand. What can you do? Can you describe what the physiological effects, or what we know about the physiological effects of very low frequency, high intensity RF? How does it affect the human being?
Okay, well let's talk about mental function primarily.
All right.
And we can start with research that goes back to the 60s. There was a gentleman by the name of J.F. Gordon MacDonald, who was a science advisor to Lyndon Johnson, and he was a geophysicist at UCLA. And what he asserted in 1969 was that by modulating the ionosphere at a very low frequency, you could in fact debilitate human beings' mental function. In other words, create disturbances in mental functions, causing mood swings over very large areas. Now this is...
So you wonder, like, if the whole population's being affected adversely by being blanketed with frequencies, and then, you know, good old mental health systems there ready to dish out the pills. I reckon that's one of the biggest human tragedies, the biggest, you know, most widespread forms of covert abuse being inflicted on the population. And, you know, all the quacks just won't go near it. They just won't fucking go near it. I don't know if you can hear that. There's some fucking plonker out there with a... I don't know if you could hear what I was saying. I had the microphone around the wrong way, but interesting. I start talking about this. There's some plonker out there with the car horn, like honking away. Must have agitated the hive mind or something, but anyways, I continue on with the video. I don't know if you could hear what I was saying because I had the microphone around the wrong way, but yeah, I mean, if they are just blanketing, you know, entire cities with these frequencies and then dishing out the fucking pharma pills, you know, to kind of mask or recorrect a little bit the damage they're inflicting on us, the depression, the apathy, the induced anxiety. Like, what a fucking disgusting crime. And the white coats just won't go near it, you know. Just so many flying monkeys in this place.
This is as early as 1969. Then in 1970s, Zbigniew Brzezinski, who was National Security Advisor to Jimmy Carter, wrote a book. And that book we referenced as well, and it was called Between Two Ages. And in that book, he lays out, again, this technology that was coming. But at the time, there was not a way to get enough energy up to the ionosphere to create that effect. What HAARP is, and what it's capable of, is getting that kind of energy density to the ionosphere and modulating it to create those kind of effects over a very broad area.
Okay, my next question may be one you cannot answer. Are they able, do you know, to direct the, you say over a very broad area, they bounce this wide, then narrow beam at the ionosphere, off the ionosphere, and it comes back to Earth. Are they able to direct where it comes back?
Yes, within certain perimeters. The way they do that is the ionospheric or the plasma mirror that they create with that blast.
Yes.
The way the patents read, and see, we found the 12 patents associated with this specific project, and those...
Obviously, I don't have a clue because I'm just a stupid fucking bird feeder man down at the park, but you know, whenever I can get there, I'll be doing that. But maybe HARP is fucking used for individual targeting. I don't know. Who knows?
We describe very carefully in the book, and we break out exactly what they mean. But with that mirror that they create, they have the ability to move it and focus it and direct it so that that pulsed energy coming off of it actually goes directionally the way they want it to go.
Oh, boy. So in other words, if we were in a battle, take situation, for example, in Iraq.
Right.
They might be able to actually focus low-frequency energy down on a battlefield full of hundreds of thousands of the enemy and create mental confusion, perhaps mood swings, as you pointed out. In other words, completely...
So I know I'm just preaching to the choir here most likely, but obviously we're the enemy. We're the enemy of the them up top, us peasants. You know, and they like to confuse and befuddle and demoralise and crazy make, like a classic NPD, narcissistic personality disordered creature. And then, you know, mental health systems there to go, oh, we don't know how it happened. We don't know about a vestibular test for directed energy weapons. We'll just label them crazy. Because I don't want no trouble. I don't want no trouble. What a crime against humanity. Yeah, this is back in like 1995. Just imagine how far it's come since then.
Mentally demoralize the enemy.
And doesn't that sound like what happened there?
Doesn't that sound like where humanity's at right now? It does for me anyway. I can only talk about my own experience, and I'm demoralized as fuck. You know, before the targeting, and what was it, 2017, I was highly motivated, highly passionate about activism. Now I can barely get up the stairs. You know, now I can't string a bunch of thoughts together. It's impossible. At least I'm not getting the massive static electricity all over my body anymore. But I mean, pretty damn clearly the elephant in the room is frequencies, and again, the white coat quacks just won't go near it. And I try to talk about it like an adult in Quora, Reddit, Facebook pages, Facebook posts, and they're like, shut it down. They even shut down the damn comments on New Zealand Psychologist's Facebook page. Like about a week or two after I left comments there. They just turned them all off for everyone. It's pretty weird. And they get banned from Reddit psychiatry, like for eternity, just for mentioning the gaslighting of victims of psychotronic weapons. I'm just preaching to the choir, but fuck it, you know, I just felt like saying it. Just wish people would talk about things.
I mean, the speculation that we've heard, and it is speculation, that in fact they were testing these kinds of weapon systems in the Gulf War. And there's, in all likelihood, when you think back on the footage that was coming out of there, and I mean, they didn't shoot back much. I mean, we had situations there where people basically were confused and over large areas. But
only one little thing.
I could understand that. You know, when I was targeted, when I lived out in a hoka in the farmland, and I couldn't even live in my own fucking house because I felt too sick and anxious, I can understand the soldiers not shooting back, because you're just trying to stay alive. You're running around like all over the place, jumping in a shower, ground up those microwaves, boy. You're just doing anything to stay alive. I couldn't even form a plan to like get the fuck to Fiordland. That's the fucking truth. And at least they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't have all the quacks come out and try and diagnose the enemy troops. You know, oh, you're all schizophrenic. You all need to come to, you know, Dr. Quackenberger's fucking therapy room pronto. Put down your guns. You know, you're deeply delusional. There is no enemy. Surprised they didn't try that bullshit.
No, Doctor. There's a big controversy right now about a lot of our troops that are coming back.
That's right.
With debilitating mental dysfunctional diseases and physiological diseases, and nobody quite can figure out what the hell it is.
And we're like, what is it, 1995, 2005, what, 30 years later almost, and they still can't figure it out. You know, the quacks still can't quite understand, you know, what all these new diseases are. Like,
right, and we explore the physiological effects of when you take low frequencies or specific frequencies that will resonate with chemicals that are already in the body, that may be in the body in amounts that are considered non-toxic.
I bet they're like aspartame, you know, they were on the Diet Coke and they all had that Gulf War syndrome. I'd say that was possibly something to do with this, chemicals and the activation. Who knows? Might explain the chemical sensitivity, you know, that I had severely for 3 years. The frequencies fucking me up, and then absolutely no tolerance to these frequencies. To these household cleaner chemicals.
Toxic or non-lethal.
Yes, sir.
But if you hit the resonating frequency of those chemicals, you can in fact create a toxic environment that becomes unexplainable because the actual levels of the chemicals aren't there, and yet you've sort of souped them up, you've amped them up in a way, and then you've created a physiological response or a chemical reaction, and then when you take the radiation away, you know, things drop back to normal, but yet you still have this chemical reaction that's already taken place. So, you know, that speculation is there, and what we do in the book is we document, you know, scientists that have developed that technology. We show where the Navy has developed technologies along these lines. We show where a specific researcher, Jose Delgado, working at Yale University for a number of years, in fact, almost a couple of decades, developed a way using radio frequency, first with implants and later...
I don't know how long that goes on for, but check out his video. You know, hopefully he won't do me for recording a part of it. But yeah, it looks like a great video, very informative. Let's see that Jose Delgado MFer motherfucker. He got like to stay on at, what did he say, Harvard for 2 decades. Like, you read the mainstream things and they'll say like, oh, he got kicked out for being a naughty boy or whatever, but he's there for 2 fucking decades, that monster. Anyways, I won't ramble on anymore. It's just another futile video in the electro-gulag. You know, it's really sad, just how willing the flying monkeys of allopathic medicine and all those mental health fields just go along with this shit. They just throw the victims of this stuff under the bus, no questions asked. It's fucking gross. It's a sad world. You know, I feel for the dogs. There's all these dogs getting ill now. I see it in the dog group on Facebook, and I just feel so sorry for them. You know, there was a post in the EMF awareness group a few weeks ago, and this poor dog was just started pacing at the house and vomiting and extremely anxious. And the idiot humans, you know, they had no idea. They finally figured it out when they got an EMF meter. I don't know how they thought to do that, but the cause was these fucking wireless plugs they bought in. Imagine how much fucking, I don't know how they work, I admit, but like, imagine how much fucking frequencies and dirty electricity they would leak. These fucking wireless plugs. Never heard of anything so moronic. And these poor animals, they're even more voiceless abused than we are, but at least the animal doesn't get, you know, a psych smear like, oh, you're schizophrenic, oh, you're delusional. He thinks the frequencies are harming him. It's so sad. We need to get the animal help. At least that doesn't happen, but they don't get the psych smear because they're truly voiceless. That's probably why they don't psychiatrically diagnose dogs and cats, because they don't have a voice. Whereas someone like, you know, a human being who starts speaking about this, we need to be smeared and discredited. So they got the psych labels for us. Anyway, I am passionate about it because it's a fucking disgusting way to covertly destroy someone. And it's just tragic how many people go along with it because, you know, I don't want no trouble. I don't want no trouble. Really shows the morality in this world is very fucking low.